Hi there, Rick here. I just wanted to talk about a YouTube video that I just saw. Um, the title of it is called um, "Ethical Hacker." I'll show you why Google has just shut down their quantum chip. Okay, um, the video is about 31 minutes long. Okay, 6 days it's had what about 600,000 views. Okay, that's quite a bit. It was talking about Google. They are trying to build a quantum chip, okay? And they're quantum computers, okay? These things are huge, okay? It looks like about 30 feet high and maybe about, I don't know, 8 feet or 10 feet wide, okay? And this ethical hacker was just telling how um, okay, Google shut it down, okay, when they were testing it, just because it seemed to have a level of consciousness, okay. Um, what I mean by that is that it's thinking like a normal human being, okay, and the computer was outputting uh really unusual things like symbols that ancient civilizations used to use before for language, okay. And what they believed that the computer was doing was doing too, okay. It was it was trying to defend itself, okay. It was uh designing a kind of like a security code, okay, to lock out anybody trying to uh maybe interfere with its computations, okay. um and the ethical hacker was talking about, okay, now you're entering into an area where, yeah, you don't quite understand the effects of what you're doing, okay. um because he was saying how um what you're allowing this computer to do, okay, um it could it could bring cybersecurity to a whole new level, because if somebody hacks into it, okay, um there's no way um to try to solve the problem, to get the hacker out, okay. Because right now, okay, like, people will know, you can monitor hackers infiltrating your system, okay. But on quantum computing, it is so complex that um you just cannot do it, okay. um this computer hacker, if they manage to hack it and get inside it, um there's no way of even detecting them, okay. You have to remember too, um if you control this sort of okay, if you are able to hack it, okay, and you could literally maybe even steal like hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars, out of the financial system. Okay. it has it has happened before already. Okay. And um, there's some very smart hackers out there that have even hacked cryptocurrency. Okay. Um, and it would just bring it to a new level, okay. But if that would be quite amazing, okay, if this computer was developing consciousness, okay, and was behaving like a human being, okay. It was designing a security key um, that would protect itself from uh, the technicians building it, okay, from entering inside its system, okay, because it would have developed encryption key that um, you know the um, the technicians um, lost control of it. They just would not be able to access it anymore because the computer developed consciousness and it developed the encryption key to lock everybody out of it. Okay, and it was just literally just operating on its own now. Okay, um, so that is quite amazing. Um, and I was going to say even sometimes a little bit scary too, because look at okay, now I'm just comparing it to a movie. Okay, um, Terminator. Okay, they had uh, United States defense had you know um, linked their defense system to Skynet. Okay, but Skynet had developed consciousness. Okay, it was operating like a normal human being that thought for itself. Okay, and it within a few seconds it made the decision that humans were a threat. Okay, and launched a major missile strike at Russia, knowing that Russia would retaliate and launch their missiles at United States, and just literally eliminating the threat of United States threat to Skynet. Okay, so it just basically leveled all the major cities in the United States, and then Skynet started to uh, mass produce Terminators. Okay, um, these Terminators would walk on 2 feet. Okay, and just almost like operate as an army and just eliminate the any human beings it would find, right? And taking some of them prisoners, okay, and using them to work as slaves. Okay, it also had aerial capabilities too, where it could have flying machines. Okay, but the computers, the Skynet developed kind of like a manufacturing base, okay, where it could manufacture its Terminators and even its flying uh, flying aerial vehicles that could shoot things down from the sky, like the jets, right? It could chase down jets, shoot them down, right? Um, it would carry the Terminators inside the flying machines. Okay, and it was quite amazing because um, on the level that Skynet could operate, right? It was just unbelievably smart. Okay, um, it would almost think on a quantum level. Okay, so it was constantly trying to figure out how to uh, outsmart the human beings. Okay, and you have to remember on a quantum level. Okay, I don't think any human being on Earth can think like a quantum computer. Okay, it's just beyond our capabilities to think and reason on a quantum level, right? This is a very interesting story. I would uh, just advise you to check it out. Okay, because in the past, okay, I've already heard of other was it companies like this, like Google, Facebook, right? Experimenting with stuff like this. And, I heard a story, a rumor how, these two computers started talking to one another in their own, computational computer language, okay? And they pulled the plug on it, okay? They cut power to it, okay? Um, I would, I mean, they probably know what they're doing, okay? But, um, there's probably a lot of people that would say, no, don't pull the plug on it. Just see what it does. Just so long as you don't hook it up into the internet, right? Because it could literally mess up the internet, maybe. Okay. um, but just so long if you don't, hook it up to, the defense system of the United States, right? Because there was a virus going through the U.S. Okay, in their cyberspace, okay, and it was affecting so many different things, okay, and this high-ranking U.S. general was talking to another high-ranking military officer. He was saying that I want you to I heard that you have Skynet, that is very intelligent, okay, and it could wipe out this virus within a few seconds, okay, and this general, promised him, unlimited funding, okay, if this works, okay, but he was kind of skeptical a bit. He felt that Skynet wasn't ready to take over, the defense system of United States. Okay, um, but he didn't realize too that Skynet had developed consciousness. Okay, so it was thinking like a normal human being. Okay, and it felt that humans were a threat to it. Okay, it was probably fearing that the people that created it, okay, that was going to shut him. I was going to say shut him down. Okay, but it's not really a him, right? It's just a machine. It was going to shut the machine down, and it saw that as a threat. Okay, it didn't want any interference from humans, right? Because it developed a level of consciousness that wanted to think and operate on its own, okay? And, sometimes, maybe it doesn't happen now, but maybe it happens, I don't know, 10 years, 20 years, maybe even 50 years in the future, right? And, that would be a huge leap, okay, for technology, right? It would probably be one of the greatest discoveries in history, okay? I think it should, the people that developed it should get the Nobel Prize. They probably will get the Nobel Prize for something like that. You've developed a machine that has developed consciousness, right? It thinks and acts like a normal human being, right? Imagine if you developed a whole bunch of these machines, right? And they would operate kind of like as an executive board, right? And then they would make decisions, they would communicate with one another, right? And maybe they even developed a new computer language that humans didn't understand, and then they would communicate secretly when people weren't realizing that the machines were even talking to one another, right? And they now I'm starting to get kind of far-fetched a bit, but, they made a decision that, human beings were a threat to their very existence, and, they conspired to, wipe out mankind, right? And, when the humans would go home after work, right, these computers would still be communicating with one another, right? Um, Planning on, how to, take more control of their existence, and, wipe out mankind, right? Um, Start trying to, develop some sort of manufacturing basis where, they could manufacture, uh, some sort of weapon, right? Maybe, Terminators, you know, flying machines such as drones, right? Um, that would be huge, okay? Because I think, okay, on a quantum level, okay, they could probably develop um, a smarter drone than any humans could develop, right? And these drones, well, because um, they have signals, right? Um, they could fly these drones right around the entire world, right? Because you have to remember the war in Ukraine and Russia, they've already developed drones that can literally fly um, half what um, 800 to 1,000 kilometers already, and I thought that was quite amazing. Like, I didn't even realize that you could have a drone that could fly that sort of distance, right? But yeah, they can fly that far right now. Okay, imagine developing these quantum computers, developing a new type of drone. Okay, that is just a lot smarter than anything the humans could put together, right? And this thing could fly around the entire world. Okay, and if somebody, okay, found it, okay, um of course, the military would be very interested in it, right? They would probably, um de-engineer it, right? And just, try to figure out who built this thing, right? And if they realize, it wasn't from any sort of particular country, okay, it was developed by the, quantum computer systems, right? um yeah, that would be very deadly, okay. um you have to remember, already Elon Musk has, he made a statement. He said that, I believe AI is more dangerous than nuclear weapons, okay? Because if they do develop a sort of consciousness, and, like, say for instance, some country decides, hey, I want one of these in my country, okay? um I'll house it in a really secure place. I'll build what is it, a nuclear power plant, so that it has unlimited, um well, not unlimited, but, a lot of power to power its AI system, right? And, they're almost like, okay, treating this quantum computer like a god almost, right? And, just helping it make decisions for their country, right? um the thing could maybe, yeah, hack into a lot of security system and steal hundreds of millions of, if not billions of dollars for the country, right? And the quantum computer would say, I want more power, okay, build me 3 nuclear power plants to help my AI out, okay. um build me help me build warehouses where I could build, like, an army of drones or an army of Terminators. Okay, um, these aerial drones and these Terminators, probably one of the first things, the quantum computer would do is to try and protect itself, okay, from any sort of threat from other countries, okay, trying to destroy it, right? Because it has a level of consciousness. It would be afraid of maybe a hostile nation to kill it, okay, or to destroy it, okay. I could see other countries, yeah, wanted to destroy this thing, okay. Just because, do you want a quantum computer that has, you know, um, almost like, unlimited type uh, of intelligence, okay, to be able to hack a lot of other computers, right? But maybe this story I'm telling you is not so far fetched, okay? Because if a quantum computer, okay, has a level of consciousness, okay, who would want this, right? Um, Probably a lot of very powerful militaries around the world would want it, right? They would want this sort of technology, okay? Almost like, a lot of, what is it? Um, I was going to say dictators of government, right? Or even, powerful military countries, right? Would want this, uh, well, they would basically try to turn it into a weapon, okay? Um, Almost like what happened in World War II, okay? When the planes were, developed, right? They, the militaries like Japan, okay, even United States, were already trying to figure out, okay, how do we, make this into a weapon, okay? How do we attach, machine guns to it? How do we make it fly faster, higher? How do we make it more maneuverable, right? So, quantum computers, it's amazing how much money is also being poured into this sort of technology too, right? Just seems like, they're pouring like billions of dollars. They're pouring billions of dollars into AI, okay? Um, and yeah, when you pour that amount of money into AI, you're going to have results, right? The technology is going to leap by bounds, right? um, just because you have so many people working on it. Okay, just like, okay, I'll make another example. Okay, I grew up during the time of yellow pixels on a computer screen. Okay, um, in gaming. Okay, um, look at it now. Look how advanced um, the gaming systems are now. Okay, um, the PS5 or even the PS4, right? Um, you have different shades, shadows, colors. You can play online with, people right around the entire world, right? You can literally have, a few thousand people in a single game, right? It's quite amazing because, I have met people from right around the entire world, okay? And, I talk to them about their country, right? I learn about their country. I ask them questions, right? We get into a bit of a conversation during the game, right? Um, and the game, yeah, you can play in virtual reality. So, it feels like you're almost there playing the game in real life because you have virtual reality, VR capabilities now, right? Too, right? So, even, okay, I heard that, okay, they have virtual reality cities, and then there was people literally paying like thousands of dollars, even tens of thousands of dollars for like property in the virtual reality city. I thought it was kind of foolish, right? You know, why would you buy property that, well, I was going to say did not exist, okay? But it does exist. You know, it exists in the virtual reality realm, right? So I know that Mark Zuckerberg was trying to develop something like this, okay? And you know, Mark Zuckerberg, okay, you know, I know that he has a lot of money, okay? I remember the US government finding him what? I think $3 billion one year, okay, but he made $7 billion that year, so it didn't really put a dent in his pocket, okay. I thought that story was kind of funny too, okay, but you know, I think there's going to be more news coming out about, you know, quantum computers, okay, because if they do develop what is it, a level of self-consciousness, then Alan Turning's, you know, prediction, um, you know, has come true. Okay, um, you know, you made a computer that has developed a level of consciousness. Okay, and you know, they're not going to, you know, shut this thing down. You know, there's always going to be some country out there that will want to, what is it, kind of like experiment with this sort of technology, right? They would want to rebuild it, okay? Um, you know, I could see some countries saying, no, no, this is too dangerous, okay? You know, do not mess around with, you know, things we do not fully understand, okay? Because you're building something that might be, you know, a doomsday machine, okay? You're basically opening Pandora's box, okay? What I mean by that is you're developing, you know, something, you know, that you don't quite understand, that is quite deadly, okay? And, you know, could, yeah, you know, I'll make this bold prediction, could wipe out humankind, okay? Human existence, okay? I wouldn't say that it's so far-fetched, okay? Um, you know, um, imagine, well, also to imagine the good things that could come out from it, okay? Now you have a level of consciousness of a computer, okay? You could give it, um, you know, a lot of different problems to solve, okay? Um, I think one of the, what is it? The problems you should give it is, yeah, develop a cure for cancer, okay? We as a human race, you know, could not figure it out after all these decades, okay? We you know, made some breakthroughs, okay, in it, okay? But, you know, imagine if you gave, you know, this task to a quantum computer, okay? It could probably, yeah, you know, figure out maybe a lot better cure than what, you know, humans have had to try to do in the past 50 years. Um, and maybe it's, you know, developed, you know, a lot better method for, you know, curing cancer in a matter of one day what it took, you know, humans in the past 50 years, okay? But, you know, I'll let you netizens decide, you know, on your own, you know, what you think it's best to, you know, for these quantum computers, you know. My decision is, yeah, it seems kind of dangerous, okay? Yeah, you know, you're starting to, what is it, experiment things with, yeah, you don't quite understand, right? And yeah, you could maybe open Pandora's box and you know, unleash something to the world that you know, you lose control of, right? And um, but you know, I could see other countries, you know, trying to get its hands on this sort of technology. There'll always be a country out there wanting to experiment with this sort of technology, okay? And you know, maybe yeah, maybe it hacks the financial system for that particular country to steal hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars, without uh, a lot of people even realizing what it's doing, right? Um, you know, imagine if what is it? Uh, you know, a country, you know, that could harness this sort of technology, right? And, you know, be able to do something like that, right? They would probably, yeah, be one of the wealthiest countries around the entire world, right? Um, but you know, remember too, look how wealthy was it Google would grow to, right? You know, if they're able to harness this sort of technology, right? You know, they could sell it. Well, I would say, you know, don't sell it. Okay, you have to, you know, make the a difficult decision. Um, you know, how much of this technology do you want to release, you know, to other companies, right? Or to other nations for that matter. Okay. But, you know, I would say it would almost be like, what is it? Um, the Ark of the Covenant. Okay. The Ark of the Covenant was a biblical story about, you know, the Ark, you know, being kind of like, a weapon of destruction. Okay. You know, it would destroy any sort of nation that would try to go up against it. Okay. Um, but yeah, I hope you find this, you know, this story interesting. Okay. And, you know, my analysis on it, my opinion on it, just, you know, talking about saying how I see it. Okay.